Hey there and welcome back to The Sims 3. My name is Pete and today we complete what is already episode 20 of this attempt to fully complete The Sims 3 world adventures. We are still in Simhara, Egypt, last time we left off after wrapping up our work for Corp, and then we went on the rather unique quest to first of all get Sanat cursed by a mummy, before we then attempted to lift the curse by pleading at the Sphinx and meditating at the Soul Peace statue. After a few hours of rest, it is now time for him to pick up a new quest, and this here seems interesting. Kailantha Heartstone, named after a channel supporter of course, is apparently interested in romantic advice as well as in proving a historical rumor. We find her outside her home, a place we have visited a few times already. Let's find out what all of this is about. No more talk of romance, at least not for the moment. Instead, we are tasked with speaking to Volonda Ababua, named after channel supporters Volonda and Yobgod Ababua, and Volonda believes that one of her ancient ancestors has some form of relation to Queen Hatshepsut. In order to find out more though, we first of all need to provide 3 pieces of alabaster, as Volonda plans to make some jewelry for Kailantha in order to help her out with her romance troubles. Now, conveniently enough, we already have those gemstones in Sanat's inventory, so this stage of the quest is quickly completed. Another idea to help Kailantha out with her quest for love is to teach her to cook romantic foods. Volonda just gave Sanat a book on the topic, one that Kailantha herself apparently refuses to read. And while Sanat now finds himself a comfortable spot, we switch over to William, who currently still has an active quest to find 2 pieces of Mummitomium. And unfortunately, I think it could take him several days to complete that. In my experience, you're lucky if you find 1 piece per day in Simhara, so while we will complete the quest at some point, for now I think there are faster ways to get to level 3, for example by befriending one of the natives, a quest that we have admittedly completed once before, but it's an easy source of visa points. And we find our target right next to Sanat, who is still studying the Romantic Recipes book. It is Yobgod Ababua, Volanda's father-in-law. Now, it takes a few hours, but eventually William's and Yobgod's relationship changes to friends. We earn 1,000 simoleons and 30 visa points, and William can now report to General Goods Merchant Izirina Doiran to complete the quest. In the meantime, Sanat finishes the book and therefore now has a conversation ahead of him as well, and because he moves a bit faster, we'll actually get to that one first. Let's have him teach Kailantha some romantic recipes. Now, unfortunately, our quest giver does not seem to be overly convinced. However, she points us in the right direction to follow up on the rumors regarding Volonda's ancestry. Just in that moment, William also turns in his quest, but there are no further rewards waiting for him, and so we'll have him quickly stop by special merchant Ketavan Moraeus to purchase some pemmican. In the meantime, Sanat has reached the household of Urilu Thunkalatha, but he's not actually interested in going inside. We just introduce ourselves to freely rummage around the backyard, where our young adventurer finds a suspicious hole in the ground. Fiddling around inside of it reveals a hidden staircase leading below, and downstairs we find a secret hideout of some sort. According to Kailantha, this was once a secret lair of Queen Hatshepsut, and as such there are at least a few treasures to collect. The most important item for now though is the crescent keystone that can be placed to unlock the door here, and that actually also already completes this small part of the adventure. We only find a bedroom here with a small bathroom adjacent that I for some reason forgot to open. The game also does not officially consider this to be a tomb, I believe, so we also do not find a tomb sigil, just a key to the servants' quarters, and with that in hand we should now return to Volonda. Once again then, behind this door here, just a small bathroom. Unfortunately, nothing of value is found inside. Now, as a logical next step in our adventure, Volanda now points us towards the proper temple of Queen Hatshepsut, where we should now be able to access the servants' quarters and hopefully find out more. For today though, our adventurers have earned themselves some rest. As you can see, using the base camp bathroom is becoming more and more of an adventure itself, but eventually Sanat joins William in the tent and we can skip ahead to the next morning. That morning then begins pretty early, and with William picking up a collection quest that should hopefully be a bit easier to complete, he needs to catch 4 scarab beetles, but first of all he will accompany Sanat to the temple of Queen Hatshepsut. As you can see, there are a few gemstones nearby that we will collect before going inside, nothing terribly valuable though. Access to the temple is then gained through a small inconspicuous building behind, or rather below the stairs. We do not yet have the keystone to progress any further inside of this room, but the one to the servants' quarters fits in the corridor next door. To get himself started on what is now in fact a proper tomb, Sanat can use the 2 stairs here to get down 2 levels, while William reveals a hidden door upstairs and also fulfills a wish in the process. The secrets that are for Sanat to find, meanwhile, are limited. A lone treasure chest here only contains ancient coins, and after grabbing those, we will have our young adventurer meditate, just to free up the spot for a new wish here. After all, those tend to pop up quite frequently when you're tomb exploring. William, meanwhile, has opened the secret door and can now access the treasure chest behind, containing a gemstone, and for the small pile of rock rubble, we'll have him use Pangu's axe, swiftly transferred over from Sanat's inventory. Hidden beneath are just some more ancient coins, and with those in hand he can now join Sanat downstairs, who has detected a hole in the wall in another one of the bedrooms. Sadly though, it only contains a low-value gemstone, and so our 2 adventurers make their way into the last 2 bedrooms, where both of them want to inspect the walls. First, it is Sanat revealing a hidden passage, but a few moments later William follows suit, but will stick to Sanat for the moment, who can now climb down a further 2 sets of stairs, and then go through one last door to reach the final room of this tomb. Since these are the servants' quarters, it is perhaps understandable that they are not filled with riches, and while this is officially classified as a proper tomb, it does not come with a tomb sigil, at least not with one that we get to keep. Back upstairs, William has also discovered a treasure chest of his own, but the contents are not exactly overwhelming either, only a single gemstone. Now we'll quickly have him enter the tomb's final chamber here too, just to officially mark it as completed for him as well, but then it's time to leave. Sanat is already back in the city, ready to report the good news to Volanda. Now unfortunately, we do not get to continue the adventuring right away. Instead, the focus once again shifts towards Kailantha's search for love. Now we need to convince 5 locals that she's an awesome woman, and we probably have a better chance of doing so if Sanat does not smell like a tomb. It is also a part of the quest that is relatively quick for him to complete. He has built decent relations with quite a few people in town, relic merchant Kailev Tel being one of them. There have also been the occasional sparks flying between him and Izirina Doiran, and to convince the final 3 people, Sanat will return to his childhood home. William, meanwhile, has found the first scarab beetle location on the map, and his first attempt to catch one is immediately successful. His protege Sanat then makes quick work of his current part of the quest. His mother Chimay is swiftly convinced, his grandmother Lithariana does not resist his charms either, and his younger brother Denim also quickly believes his words. And with that, we are ready to report back, this time to Kailantha though, while William is successfully catching his second scarab beetle. Sanat then reports back to his quest giver, and while Calantha appreciates his efforts, she also tells him that she would prefer to handle her love affairs herself, so for the time being she points us towards yet another secret hideaway, this one right underneath the Simhara market. The entrance is located inside this small building behind the shop of Izirina Doiran, and while there isn't anything to find on the first basement level, the second one looks promising. Let's begin with a chest conveniently hidden behind the haystacks here. Inside we find the unique moonstone key. Before we use it, let's quickly hop back over to William in the desert, who has just caught his third scarab beetle. A second treasure chest to the left of 3 locked doors then contains a money bag, and using a keystone that we received from Calantha earlier, we can now open the door in the middle. The door on the left, meanwhile, is actually also already accessible after finding the moonstone key. We now enter a room that is already overlooking the final chamber of this tomb. In order to proceed here, we first of all need to investigate the hole in the floor. That reveals a pressure plate that we can then pull the stone statue onto. That now unlocks a door at the opposite end of the hallway, but before going through, let's use that moonstone key we found earlier. It unlocks a small chamber here with a single treasure chest inside, in which we can find a valuable crystal ball cut diamond. Eventually then, Sanat heads through the other door and down a set of stairs to enter a small corridor with 3 doors leading off of it. Now the game is very subtle here about marking which door to go through. You can perhaps see it right underneath the doors. The floor tiles there have markings in different colors. The door with green markings here is the only one in the area, and thus the one we want to go through first, and after activating the floor switch, we do not want to proceed through the door with the purple markings, but instead we want to prioritize every door marked in red. Before I explain further, we can watch William catch his 4th and final scarab beetle, and with that he is ready to turn in another quest. Sanat, meanwhile, goes through another red door to find treasure, and that is essentially how this section of the tomb works. Purple doors always mark a way onwards, while doors marked in red signify treasure, and with that also dead ends that can be safely explored without getting yourself too far off of the path. Sometimes there is a bit more to be found though, like a hidden door behind the wall over here, the door behind it containing the very important tomb sigil. With that, we now jump over to William, who turns in his bug collecting quest with Izirina, and who is rewarded with 30 visa points and almost 3,000 simoleons. Sanat, meanwhile, retraces his steps and now follows the purple corridor, and at the next intersection we once again have him turn right first into another treasure room. The next few doors are all marked purple, but let's not overlook the one marked in red over on the right side here. A lone treasure chest can be found behind it. Then we keep going. Another red door a bit further up ahead promises more treasure, and as you can see, William has also made it over here, ready to join his young protege for the final steps of this adventure. And while Sanat continues to search for treasure, William looks for a way out. At this point though, we are essentially circling back to where we entered. You can see it on the right here, the green room with the floor switch that started it all. Going through the next door then, we find ourselves with a slight puzzle at our hands, as the hole in the ground in front of us is locked behind doors and windows, and we now need to find a way to get access. We start by interacting with the floor switch, unlocking the door to Sanat's left. Then we have him pull the first statue on top of the pressure plate. As you may have noticed, that unlocks the first set of doors in the main chamber. Up next, we now only need to push the second statue onto the floor switch behind it. This unlocks the second set of doors and gives William access to the hole in the ground. Now to access the way out, or rather into the final chamber though, we now need to pull that first statue back out of the way. This clears the path and allows our two adventurers to proceed. You can of course complete this entire section all by yourself, but I found that with two people it is a bit easier. At the top of the stairs then there is a hole in the wall that unlocks a shortcut all the way back to the exit. We have no interest in using it just yet though, and will instead proceed to go down the stairs behind it, which then finally grants us access to the tomb's final chamber. In here, 4 treasure chests are waiting to be looted. The first contains a large pile of ancient coins, the second one even more of them, and the pile is even larger. William then opens chest number 3 to collect a money bag, and finally Sanat can open the marked treasure chest that we came here for. A hollow inscribed relic is found inside, next to a fragment for the sarcophagus of kings. Now at this point, our two adventurers are tired and both of them have a wish to sleep inside a tomb. We cannot put up a tent in here, but there is a comfy bed already waiting for us. So how about we fulfill that wish, get them some rest, and then rejoin them on the next morning. That next morning then also presents the perfect opportunity for Sanat to capture a photo of William making the bed, another motif that is now no longer missing in his collection. As we then head back upstairs, you may have also noticed it already, there is a third door here that remains locked for now. And no, we did not miss anything, the keystone for it is nowhere to be found inside this tomb. Don't worry though, we'll come across it soon enough. For now, with William, we pay a quick visit to relic merchant Kailev Tell, because he usually sells Mummitomium too, and even though it costs us a pretty penny, we'll pick up all 3 pieces here, so that William can easily complete that last metal collecting quest. Sanat meanwhile has made it over to Volonda to deliver the relic, although Volonda herself still seems to be curiously occupied with finding a date for her friend Kailantha Heartstone. She even set up an online dating profile for her, and is now asking us to take a photo of Kailantha to complete that profile. Before we do though, we'll raise Sanat's social bar a bit and then take a photo of Volonda instead. There are a few photography skill challenges still left open, for which we need to photograph as many unique Sims as possible. Since it's nighttime, we also get lucky and come across a ghost wandering the street, a welcome addition to the paranormal collection. William meanwhile has made it back to base camp and can now pick up the Mounds of Mummitomium quest once more. Don't ask me why the very person who just sold them to us is now asking for them back. Thankfully though, he only wants to have 2 of them, so we get to keep 1 piece for ourselves. As you can see, Sanat has also made it to base camp and is currently taking photos of a few of the adventurers here, once again just to add to the collection. William then turns in the Mummitomium, and with that he has now completed all 6 of the metal collecting quests in Simhara. Unfortunately though, he still hasn't reached visa level 3, so we have a bit more work still left ahead of us. With Sanat meanwhile, delivering a photo of Kailantha is easy, we already have one in his inventory. It is a group picture we took quite a few episodes ago, but she won't mind. One word of advice though, you may need to reload the game for it to properly register that you do have it in your inventory, and don't forget to also take it out of your camera. Now back to the task at hand, Kailantha is rightfully fed up with Volonda's attempts to seek her a mate, and instead she now shifts our attention back to the temple of Queen Hatshepsut, as the relic we delivered earlier seemingly contained another keystone, a keystone that will hopefully get us access to the Queen's personal quarters. And so our 2 adventurers return to the temple. This time we can use that other keyhole we already spotted earlier, and it reveals hidden stairs that once again lead us down below. Down here, William can immediately go to work on a suspicious piece of wall, while Sanat pushes statues out of the way to gain access to a pressure plate, as well as to a pile of ancient coins. Pushing the final statue here unlocks a door, while William gains access to a treasure chest, and he did conveniently have the wish to open one, even if this one only contains an apple seed, a rather disappointing find. The next small area then is for Sanat to solve all by himself. William rests up for a bit, while his young protege pulls another statue onto a pressure plate. That unlocks the door here, but first we also want to stand on the floor switch, as doing so brings up another staircase leading one level down below. By the way, the parts of the tomb that you can currently see on the right side of the screen, we explored those already. Those are the servants' quarters that started all of this. Now, with William advancing his athletic skill to level 2, he brings up another floor switch. The corresponding statue is quickly dragged into place, and with that, the way onwards is cleared. We find only another pressure plate to stand on, easily done, which in turn brings up a third floor switch in the previous room. Heading down below, we can now enter what looks to be Queen Hatshepsut's library, and the first thing we want to do in here is open the treasure chest right in front of us. The loot inside is nothing special, but it opens a secret chamber on the left side here, inside which a second treasure chest can be found, and not only does it contain a useful crescent keystone, entering the room also reveals a floor switch that we can now pull this statue onto. That unlocks a door at the back end of the room, and here is also where we want to place that crescent keystone we picked up earlier. The door then only contains a small treasure chamber, but a very important one. Not only do we find the keystone to the Queen's personal chambers in here, but there is also a treasure chest over here containing the marketplace storage key number 5, needed to open that last locked door inside the Market Cavern's tomb. For the moment though, let's complete this one. The keystone opens the way onwards. We go up the stairs and finally find ourselves in Queen Hatshepsut's personal quarters. Now, it's not a massive place, only equipped with 2 treasure chests. The first one here holds the tomb's unique sigil, the other one the Queen's diary that we need to retrieve for Volonda Ababua. While we are here, we also have both of our Sims use the Queen's ancient bathroom, and doing so is not just good fun, it actually also reveals a secret hole in the wall, inside of which William can find another pile of ancient coins. Then it's time to move out. We go up the stairs and activate the pressure plate at the end of the corridor, and just like that, we can now head back to town and report our findings to Volonda. Queen Hatshepsut's diary then indeed confirms that Volonda is related to one of the Queen's servants, the diary explicitly praising his endurance, so who knows, perhaps he's got more than one relative still among the living. In any case, with Sanat after taking a quick shower in the can, it's time to spend some of those hard-earned lifetime happiness points. In fact, we are now going to change his lifetime wish. Currently, he wishes to become an international super spy, not really fitting anymore. So how about the world-class gallery instead? A photography collection worth at least 25,000 simoleons, as well as 10 photographs from each of the travel locations placed on the home lot. Speaking of which, a few more adventurers have gathered at base camp, so let's quickly snap a picture. William, by the way, is currently digging up some relics, but we will of course pick up a new quest with him very soon. For today then, let's wrap things up by opening that last sealed door below the market. Don't expect too much from it though, this is mostly done for the sake of true completion. As you can see, we only find a single treasure chest, no further secrets. Now what we find inside that treasure chest then actually helps us along on our path to completion. It is the uniquely Egyptian-themed magic gnome. Unfortunately, we already have one, its name is Rashek. And so Sanat leaves again, not empty-handed, but perhaps a bit disappointed. Nonetheless, we have made fantastic progress here today. Unless I'm mistaken, we only have 3 tombs left to explore here in Simhara. 2 of them are also relatively small, and the number of quests we can still pick up from the adventuring board is also rapidly decreasing. And so I think we have reached a good point to make the cut. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can of course go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or become a channel member or Patreon supporter. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.